Om Namo Devaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, Hare Krishna, dear devotees, like to seek the blessings of Radha Madhava, Radha Shyamsundar, Krishna Balaram, Gaunita, Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj, and assembled devotees. Yesterday was the appearance of Madhvacharya, and we were talking about the Sera. So I thought today we would share some pastimes of Madhvacharya. Amazing personality. He is one of the Sampradaya heads and one of the main acharyas actually of the Madhav Sampradaya. So just having a quick look at the timeline from when Krishna leaves the planet. After Krishna, Buddha comes because the Vedas are being misused. So Krishna comes as Buddha to stop the misuse of the Vedas. And then Krishna sends 1,000 years later Sankaracharya to re-establish the Vedas because the job was done by Buddha. So again, the Lord wanted to re-establish the Vedic principles. And then, but Sankaracharya gave one aspect of the Supreme Lord, and that was the impersonal aspect, the formless aspect. So then the different acharyas came in the different sampradayas to establish or re-establish the worship of the personal form of the Lord, starting with Rudra Sampradaya, Vishnu Swami came, Shri Sampradaya, Ramanujacharya, and then the four Kumara Sampradaya, Nimbakacharya, and finally Madhvacharya, who was in the line of Brahma Sampradaya. And this is the personality we're going to talk about today. And then following him, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came 500 years ago, following which Srila Prabhupada spread the Krishna consciousness movement throughout the world. This gives a little idea of the four sampradayas, the acharyas, the main worshipable deities, either Krishna, Vishnu, Rama, Nrsimha, the different philosophies that they propagated. And generally speaking, it was to negate Sankaracharya's philosophy of Advaita. Advaita. So, but they all had their own little differences between them. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to the Gaudiya line, brought them all together in his philosophy of Achintya Bede Tattva. Achintya Bede Tattva, which is inconceivable oneness and difference. So we are one with God because we are made of spirit as God is as well. But we're different at the same time because we're tiny and God is huge. And then also the different moods of the sampradayas are also described, like how they like to serve the Supreme. In the Rudra, it's parental, friendship, conjugal, same as in the four Kumaras. In the Sri Sampradaya, mainly it says parent or servant. In Brahma Sampradaya is servant. And in the Gaudiya, it's all 5 different types of service. So very interesting. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu brought everybody together, combined all the sampradayas in one sense. So, who is this Madhvacharya? His background in summary, as Lord Krishna stressed in the Bhagavad, the essence of all Vedic knowledge is that God is a person. By all the Vedas I am to be known. However, the spread of Buddhist doctrine in 500 BC of ultimate voidness eclipsed this knowledge for a time. And then the great teacher Sankaracharya, who came in the AD 788 to 820, he drove Buddhism out of Bharat. But instead of saying all is nothing, Sankaracharya said all is one. So slightly different philosophy from Buddha. In other words, he upheld an all-pervasive spiritual reality, but said it was ultimately impersonal. No form. God has no form. It's just some light. Well, that's the theory behind Sankaracharya's. But the reality is different. Madhvacharya and others Krishna conscious spiritual masters such as Ramanuja Acharya soundly defeated this impersonalist view and re-established that the absolute truth is Krishna, the Supreme Personality. Madhvacharya appeared with a mission to fight and defeat Sankaracharya's Mayavad impersonal philosophy. So this was his main job, main task. After Sankaracharya, who had previously toured Bharat spreading impersonalism, Madhvacharya also traveled the length and breadth of Bharat, preaching personal theism and devotion to Lord Vishnu. So, amazing personality. He was born in 1232, lived for 80 years. He appeared as Vasudev in a village called Pajaka Kshetra near Udupi. Udupi is a very famous place in Karnataka, South Bharat, in a Shivali Brahma dynasty as the son of Madhyagya Bhatta. So he's a very powerful personality. When he was only 5, he received spiritual initiation. When he was 12, he accepted sannyas. That's quite extraordinary. He took sannyas when he was 12. Really amazing. At that tender age, Madhav gave up all family ties to travel in order to travel the length and breadth of Bharat in a conquest of spiritual knowledge. So he's considered actually an incarnation of Vayu, the wind god. That's why it's so powerful. We are further told that whenever Madhav's mother was feeling anxious, he would come before her in one jump from wherever he happened to be playing. Even as a young boy, Madhav was renowned as a scholar. It is said that his father piled up many debts, and then that to pay them off, Madhav converted tambourine seeds into coins. Madhava also goes by the name Purnapagya and Ananda Tirtha. He had an unusually strong physique and extraordinary intellectual power. Very clever. His immense strength and mystic powers. There are some amazing stories surrounding Madhav's early life. It is said that near Madhav's house, a demon named Maninman lived in the form of a snake. Madhav killed him with the big toe of his left foot. Once a fierce Bengali tiger attacked Madhvacharya's sannyas disciple, Satyatirtha. Madhvacharya wrestled the tiger and sent him away with his tail between his legs. Often in the province of Ganga Pradesh, there were fights between Hindus and Muslims. The Hindus were on one bank of the river, Muslims on the other. Due to the community tension, no boat was available for crossing the river. The Muslim soldiers were always stopping passengers on the other side. But Madhvacharya did not care for these soldiers. He crossed the river anyway. When he met soldiers on the other side, he was brought before the king. The Muslim king was so pleased with him that he wanted to give him a kingdom and some money, but Madhvacharya refused. While walking on the road, he was attacked by some dacoits, but by his bodily strength, he killed them all. Madhvacharya's pursuit of the absolute truth. He wrote 3 important treatises on the Vedanta Sutra, the Bhagavad Gita, and the Upanishads. His theology is called Shuddha Dvaita, pure dualism. More than anyone, he stressed the difference between God and the individual soul. So this is the pure dualism, Shuddha Dvaita. By giving a pure interpretation of Vedanta Sutra, he promoted pure theism. He named his innovative Shastric explanation Dvaita Advaita, Dvaita Dvaita Vada, pure dualism. Madhvacharya's learning and devotion to Krishna were famous throughout Bharat. He traveled extensively throughout Bharat, defeated innumerable Jains, Buddhists, Mayavadis, atheists, logicians, and agnostics. In the course of his travels, Madhav visited Badrikashram, a place of pilgrimage high in the Himalayas. There he met the great sage Vyasdev. Lord Incarnation, Lord Krishna's literary incarnation and the author of the Vedic literatures. So actually, it said that he took initiation, Diksha, from Lord Vyasadeva, or at least he accepted him as Shiksha Guru. By studying under Vyasadeva, Madhav grew even greater in his scholarship. Vyasadeva gave him a Shaligram Shila named Ashtamurti, approved also his Bhagavad Gita commentary, and blessed Madhvacharya with deeper realization of the scriptures. So this is a nice painting showing the two personalities together. His pastimes in Udupi. After coming down from the Himalayas, Madhav at last returned to his birthplace, Udupi, and performed a wonderful pastime. Once a ship, while approaching the shore near Udupi, faced a great storm and was in imminent danger. Madhvacharya was standing on the seashore and directed the ship by waving his cloth. The ship was saved, and the captain prostrated himself before the Acharya, thanking him for what he believed was a miracle. He requested Madhav to take something as gift. Madhav, by his inner vision, saw lying in the ship a huge lump of gopi chandan, which is a type of white clay used for tilak. He asked for that as a gift. Surprised at this seemingly trivial request, the captain obliged. The Acharya put his hand inside the lump of clay and brought forth a murti of Bal Krishna. Krishna in his childhood. The deity was so heavy that the very fact that the Acharya could carry it all by himself was astounding. But more amazing was the information he revealed about the deity. So this is Madhvacharya, he could see. It was apparently made by the divine architect, Vishwakarma. Vishwakarma is the architect of the demigods. He's actually one of the demigods himself. And he was kept, this deity was kept by Lord Krishna's leading queen, Rukmini, in Dwaka, in Dwapar Yuga. So this is an idea of this amazing Gopal deity. When Dwaka was submerged in the sea at the end of Krishna's time, the deity was lost. The same deity is still today worshipped in Udupi. The deity has a stick in one hand and a lump of food in the other. As soon as Madhvacharya received the deity of Krishna, he composed a prayer. He personally brought and installed the deity to Udupi. Worship of the Lord Krishna's deity is going on still at Udupi according to the plans Madhvacharya established. So this is a very nice temple to visit. At least once in our life, we should go to this place in Udupi in Karnataka, South Bharat, and have darshan of this wonderful Krishna deity.
Prabhuji?
Yes.
Plan a trip there next time.
Maybe. We need getting old now. We need a younger, bit of younger blood to come in. I'm thinking Sanjay maybe.
Oh yes, I don't mind going with Sanjay.
Yeah, I'm thinking we plan it in such a way where he leads the tour, you know.
Sure. Okay.
Let's see. Yeah, let's see. I'll ask him. But yes, good idea. Madhvacharya had 8 disciples, all of whom took sannyas from him and became directors of his 8 monasteries. So these 8 monasteries are in Udupi. They each have a mutt around the main mutt, main temple. And they go back very long tradition. And the students there are still taught in the old style. He established these 8 mutts, temples, to lovingly serve Udupi Krishna. The sannyas leaders of each mutt worship the Krishna deity with a rigorous regime of ceremonial ritual, punctuality, and impeccable personal conduct. Every Kadasi, which is today, they observe Nirjal, total fast from all food and water. So this is an idea of this amazing deity. Got a stick in his hand and got food in the other hand. That's a closer look of Udupi Krishna. And this is the temple. I think this is the temple that have a very small window, isn't it? To see the Lord through the bars. But it's a glorious temple. It's very beautiful surroundings. Very spiritual atmosphere in this town. So his teachings, he had 9 main teachings. He had 3 big books he wrote, but he had, these are the summary of his teachings. Bhagavan Shri Krishna alone is the supreme absolute truth, one without a second. He is the object of knowledge in all the Vedas. The universe is real, Satya. Some people say this universe is false, illusion, but actually it's real. It's just temporary. And that's why some people regard it as unreal. But it is real. It's temporary. It comes and goes, and hence it's not eternal. The difference between Ishwar, God, Jiva, and matter are real. So Madhvacharya's teachings were focused on the differences between God and the Jiva. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, he also focused on the differences, but he also looked at the similarities between God and Jiva. Yes, Nariman, it's true. Yeah, you like the concept of real religion, which is a real universe, which is temporary. Yeah, it's very difficult to say this place is not real because we're living in it. So.
Because everybody says, I mean, there's a concept that it's not real. They use a special word for it. I've forgotten that word.
Illusory.
Illusory, yes. It's not an illusion. It's a real, yes, thanks, Mataji. It's a real temporary, yeah.
It is, but it's temporary, and that's why it's not.
That's it.
Yeah. The Jiva souls are by nature the servants of the Supreme Lord. So Madhvacharya, his focus was basically that our relationship with God is servant-master. That was his primary focus, because he wanted to really establish this point that we are subordinate to the Lord. And we are. But of course, we know that the Lord likes to become subordinate to his devotee. So there are other moods which one can have with the Lord other than servant. If the Lord allows, of course. There are 2 categories of jivas, liberated and illusioned. So those who are in the spiritual world and those who are in the material world. Liberation or moksha means attaining the lotus feet of Bhagavan Krishna. In other words, entering an eternal relationship of seva to the Supreme Lord. Pure devotional service to Krishna is the only way to attain this liberation. The truth may be known by pratyaksha, direct perception, anuman, inference or logic, sabda, spiritual sound or Vedic authority. These are very interesting. You can get to know the truth by directly, but of course our senses are a little bit limited, so direct perception may not be very convincing evidence. Anuman is logic, again logic. We have some capacity for logic, but ultimately this absolute logic is very difficult to ascertain. And the best way is sabda, which is spiritual sound, chanting the holy names, reading the Bhagavad Gita, listening to the Bhagavad Gita. Prabhupada's comments on the Madhvacharya. Madhvacharya is the original Acharya for those who belong to the Madhav Gaudiya Sampradaya. So we belong to this Brahma Madhav Gaudiya Sampradaya. This Madhav Gaudiya Sampradaya is known as Brahma Sampradaya because the disciplic succession originally began with Brahma. He instructed Narad, who instructed Vyas, who instructed Madhvacharya. Among the 4 Vaishnava Acharyas who all accepted by Gaudiya, some Vaishnavas, Sri Ramanuja appeared in the southern part of Andhra Pradesh at Mahabhutrapuri. Madhvacharya appeared at Pajakam near Vimanagiri, in the district of Mangalore. Vishnu Swami appeared at Pandya and Nimbakacharya appeared at Mungera Pattana in the extreme south. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted the chain of disciplic succession from Madhvacharya, but the Vaishnavas in his line do not accept the Tattvavadis. Tattvavadis are also part of this Madhvacharya's Sampradaya, who also claim to belong to Madhva Sampradaya. To distinguish themselves clearly from the Tattvavadi branch of Madhva descendants, the Vaishnavas of Bengal, Gaudiya, prefer to call themselves Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Sri Madhvacharya is also known as Sri Gauda Purnananda, and therefore the name Madhav Gaudiya Sampradaya is quite suitable for the disciplic succession of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Our spiritual master Om Vishnupad Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj accepted initiation in the Madhav Gaudiya Sampradaya. So Prabhupada is really detailing it out. Gaudiya Sampradaya originates with Madhva. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his followers thoroughly studied Madhva's works before compiling their philosophy. For Sat Sandarbhas, Sri Jiva Goswami drew heavily from Madhva's writings. Jiva Goswami found the Gaudiya philosophy of Achintya Bede Bede Tattva in Madhva's Bhagavad Parva. And of course, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu really emphasized this philosophy, Achintya Bede Bede Tattva. Lord Chaitanya himself visited Udupi, the seat of Madhva's sect, and Lord introduced Harinam Sankirtan in their sect. In Pramaya Ratnavali, Sri Baladev Vidyabhushan summarized the 9 principles common to both Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Madhvacharya's teaching, which is what we've just gone through. In the Vaishnava Siddhanta Mala, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ordered all Gaudiya Vaishnavas to carefully observe the 9 instructions of truth given by Madhvacharya through our Guru Parampara. Madhvacharya serves as Madhavi Gopi in Radha Govind's eternal Vrindavan pleasure pastimes. He passed from the material world at the age of 80 while writing a commentary on the Aitareya Upanishad. So each of these 4 sampradayas, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually sort of took the teachings from all of them. From the Sri Sampradaya, he said, unalloyed devotional service free from karma and jnana, service to the devotees. From the Brahma Sampradaya, complete defeat of Mayavad philosophy and worship of Krishna deities. Rudra Sampradaya, total dependence on Krishna and spontaneous love, devotion. And the 4 Kumara, Nimbakacharya, exclusive shelter of Radharani and exalted love of gopis for Krishna. So he took teachings from, and there's a temple in Mayapur where he's got, the Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati has got all of the 4 sampradayas in one temple. Very beautiful. And this is the parampara that we're following. From Brahma to Narad to Vyas to Madhvacharya. And Madhvacharya is the one that we are talking about. And then he had given Diksha to his disciples. So that's the pastimes of Madhvacharya. Any questions, any comments? Very powerful personality.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
I did write down a couple of things. What is sampradaya?
Sampradaya is basically the...
You said four sampradaya.
Yes. So basically the sampradaya is where a line of teaching is taught. And there are 4 main ones. Can you see the screen? Yeah, you can. There's the Rudra, that's Lord Shiva's sampradaya.
Yeah.
The 4 Kumaras sampradaya. Who's in the original? Lakshmi, I think. No, Lakshmi is Shri.
4 Kumaras, it's 4 Kumaras.
It's 4 Kumaras, right. She sampradaya is Lakshmi Devi, and Brahma sampradaya is Lord Brahma. So they're in charge of these.
Right. Thank you. You said he got he took sannyas age 12. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he had 8
Leaders, mats, 8
yeah.
temples.
And you mentioned that the people are still learning the same
same tradition.
Vedas there. But
Same tradition.
the 8 mandas, the one he gave the Siksha to them, they are not alive, are they?
No, but they have left their disciples. So their disciples are there, learning the same
thing, yeah, which is good, because I was listening quite carefully.
Yeah.
Then you said about he got rid of Buddhists, and
that was
then
Sankaracharya. Sankaracharya. He reduced the Buddhist philosophy, because Buddhist philosophy is there is nothing. There is nothing. All is nothing.
Oh.
Yeah.
But then everybody says, everybody believe in Buddha.
Yeah, but they don't necessarily quite understand what Buddhism is all about.
Oh.
Yeah. It's a philosophy which was there to take because the Brahmins were misusing Vedas at that time.
All right.
So Buddha came to say, no, don't go on the Vedas. Don't go on the Vedas.
Then in the end, this Madhvacharya,
Madhvacharya.
He got rid of them.
And then Sankaracharya came, who reduced Buddhism effect. And then, but Sankaracharya's philosophy was all is one. We are all God.
We are all God, yeah.
But then that is not right as well, because that's only one aspect of God. So then Madhvacharya came with the other sampradayas to establish the personal worship of the Lord, that we are his servant. We cannot be God. We cannot be God.
That's right. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Madhvacharya ki jai. Yes.
Yeah, probably the Sampradaya. Yes. Can you just explain it again, please? The Sampradaya.
You mean the meaning of Sampradaya?
Yes, Prabhu.
Sampradaya is basically the line of teachings given by the 4 main gurus, 4 main personalities like Shiva, 4 Kumaras, Lakshmi Devi, and Brahma. They're very powerful personalities, and they can give us philosophy which can connect us to God. And their philosophies are slightly different. Each one is slightly different. But each one ultimately takes one to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But depending on how one wants to follow, like we follow the Brahma Madhav Gaudiya Sampradaya because of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Srila Prabhupada. But others will follow different sampradayas according to, where they're born, what their inclination is. For example, the Shri Sampradaya, they're very hot on the scriptures, the Vedas. So whoever follows that, they will try to learn the Vedic, the different Vedas, the verses, how to pronounce them, and how to do yagyas and so many things. So it just depends.
So that means there are instructions or books by each Rudra, 4 Kumaras, Shri, Brahma. Yeah.
That's right. They will have instructions, and those instructions will have been expanded by these main acharyas: Vallabhacharya, Nimbakacharya, Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya. Ultimately, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu brought everything together.
So he put everything together. So which book is that then? That
It's just them.
Yeah,
These are
yeah.
8 instructions.
His 8 instructions. He brought it together through the 6 Goswamis, because what the 6 Goswamis did, they wrote what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told them. He only wrote these 8 verses, the Shishtastakam. But then he gave instructions to Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami to write. And they wrote the whole Gaudiya philosophy. And we use, like Prabhupada used the teachings from the 6 Goswamis to write Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, as well as Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and others. So effectively, it's come through the parampara. Does that make sense, Shyamala?
Yes, Prabhu, it's more clear now. Yes, thank you.
Basically, what we are reading from, like the Gaudiya Math and the Hare Krishna movement is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave. And that's really a combination of all of the 4 sampradayas. He's taken a bit from everything and combined it into one.
And that one is it the 6 Goswami? Did you say?
Yes. Through the 6 Goswamis, he's given the teachings, and also Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, because they're all great writers.
Yes.
Yeah, and through their writings, we've got the, we've got the best of all of the sampradayas.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for asking. Huh? Thank you.
It's all right, Prabhu.
Anybody?
Actually, I wanted to tell you today, I lost one of my pupa. My other pupa, he's Salubai. He died in India. Yeah.
Right. In India, in Bharat?
Yeah, because when I went to Mauritius, I went to see him. He was in a private clinic, and then because he had brain tumor, they took him to India for operation. I think he got worse when they went in a coma when they did the operation.
Oh no.
Yeah, he left the world today. Yeah.
Today, okay. What's his name?
Manoranjan Ritu.
Okay, so we'll do the Nrsinga prayers for him today.
Thank you, Prabhu.
And thank you for letting
He
us.
was a very nice person.
Right. And was that Mumbai or Delhi?
I think Delhi, they took him, and now they're going to take him back to Mauritius to do the funeral. Yeah.
Wow, he's so close to Haridwar. They should do it there.
That's what they were thinking of doing, and then they changed their mind.
Oh, okay. Wow, what a shame. Okay.
Because maybe all their relatives are back home.
Yeah. True. Okay. Thank you. Okay.
That's all right.
Okay. So the Madhvacharya ki jai.